I beat Wild Arms 3 yesterday. Finally. And it's such a magical moment when you play a game, you finish a game, and you just know, like, this is one of your new favorite games of all time, and Wild Arms 3 is right up there at the moment. Man, what a journey this was. This was an amazing piece of software, and if you have not played, first of all, Wild Arms in general, and not Wild Arms 3, like, I recommend it highly. This is one of, I wouldn't say the best JRPGs I've ever played, but it's definitely up there with my favorites now because it is so different, so special. I talked about Wild Arms in my last few videos, especially the one where I collected the entire series in physical disc form. And Wild Arms 1 was alright, Wild Arms 2 was a huge step up, and Wild Arms 3 just takes the whole idea, the whole concept of the series into a completely different direction, and I love it. And I've rarely seen a game that is so flawed in so many ways. But who cares? When you really like it, like, you put up with the flaws and you just love it. And I love this. So in the end, I spent 35 hours to finish the game, which is amazing. Wild Arms 2 was like a 55 hour game in the end. And I love short tail RPGs. And in my opinion, like 30 hours is like the perfect amount of time to spend on a JRPG, especially one as infinitely replayable as this one. Wild Arms 3, one of the biggest problems that I had with the game, and I will load up a little save here and show you around the overworld in a minute. The biggest problem the game has is the sense of direction. Because for like a good 50% of the game, there is none. When you get into around the third chapter, there are 4 chapters in the game. The third chapter, like, you finish a dungeon, you go out, and then they say, okay, what do we do next? I don't know, let's ask around. And they just set you free in the overworld. Like, okay, try to find the next place to go, try to talk to the right NPC to unlock the next game, or the next dungeon, or the next story cutscene, or whatever. So it is very open, and they don't give you a lot of direction to go on. And that can get very annoying, especially when they tell you, oh, there's a shrine somewhere, go east. Alright, like, go east, where's east? Like, what do I do? Like, and that's the only direction you get. Okay, and then you go on the journey to go around, ask people, like, to the east of your current location, go to towns in that direction and ask around, get information. And once you get that information, you can find the point in the map. In Wild Arms 3, they introduced a system where you had to scan the area to actually, like, see the towns, see the dungeons, and so on. You don't just see them on the overworld, you have to actually let me just pick a good save here to go. Yeah, let's use this one. So you don't just see them on the overworld, you actually have to scan the area to see it all. And that can get very annoying, especially when the whole game, you need the hints. Like, you need someone to tell you there's a shrine in this location for the location to pop up in the end. So we are here in one of the, like, main towns. Let's see, how do we put up the camera? Can we? Like, can we do this? Let's see. You get quite a bit of glare there. Let's do this one. I have 2 windows right to the other side. Here we go. Alright, so yeah, you have to go around, talk to the people. Let's see, do you have anything to say at the moment? Not really. And the dialogue of the characters and the NPCs changes a lot and always. So let's say, like, I just got the message, go east. Alright, so let's go east. Okay, I can get on my horse. And you can see, you can scan the area. And when something pops up, like, for example, I would have to stand right here and scan the area for this shrine to pop up, for example. And this shrine will only pop up once I get the information that I can access that dungeon, basically. So you see, one of the big things in the Wild Arms series is the encounter cancel that was introduced in Wild Arms 2, where when an encounter comes up, you just press the circle button and you don't have to do it. So that's great. So when it's green, like, you don't have to spend on any of these points up here. When it's a higher level encounter, sometimes you can't cancel, and sometimes it just costs a lot of points. So at one point you will run out, and then you're basically shit out of luck. So you see, I just spent 3 points on canceling that encounter. I can only do that a limited number of times before I have to encounter these enemies. So let's see, maybe we have some information that we have something on here. I don't know. So yeah, I just went east, so I don't know, I have to find out where to go. So just a hypothetical situation right here. But you have different ways of transportation. You first of all run or walk around the overworld. That's your standard movement option. You can buy horses later on, and you get the sandcraft here. In previous Wild Arms games, you got a boat. Like, the ocean is dried out. Like, there's no water on here. So we have the sandcraft to go around the sand seas, and later on, as is tradition, you get a dragon to fly around with. I don't think that's much of a spoiler. But yeah, and the whole world is open for you to explore. Like, as soon as you get the sandcraft, basically nothing is nothing is off level, so nothing is out of reach for you. You can go basically anywhere. Some locations are fly only later on, but you can explore things, you can find optional dungeons, you can find side quests. There's so much side content in this game that I want to explore in the future, and I'm really torn in, do I want to do the Abyss, which is an optional randomly generated 100 floor dungeon, which is something I really want to do because I love shit like that. Or should I just move on to my next game? I'm currently playing Demon's Souls for the first time on PS3. And should I move on to Wild Arms 4? Because I just decided, I want to play Wild Arms, all the games. And I never do that, but I just want to jump from one game to the other. But I'm really trying to figure out, do I want to do the dungeon or not? Because there is the basically big endgame optional boss in that one on the last floor, and I would probably have to grind for quite a while. It shouldn't be too hard. I have to say, the whole equipment thing, for example, every character can use every spell and every ability. And something I love is that you have 4 party members, unlike Wild Arms 2, for example, where you get other characters that you can switch in and out. You get all your characters right from the start, and basically all the options are open for you. You can equip them with these mediums, and they can use different abilities. And you can equip the mediums with different items that give you different abilities. For example, here I have a moonstone on this one. This one can prevent poisoning if I decide on skilling that, for example. Here we can use skill points. We can reset it all at all times, which is amazing. Here, let's reset everything and reskill the entire thing. Let's say water ward. Yes, I want to be 100% immune to water attacks. Alright, let's max that one out. I will never get any water damage anymore. We have the disease status here. Disease means you cannot be healed. Alright, I want to be healed. I don't want to get a disease. So let's max this one out. And if you don't max it out, you only have a chance to resist it. So that's always amazing. Even a little bit can help. And yeah, let's say I don't want to get poisoned either, so let's max that one out as well. And the great thing is, you can do this in battle. You can reskill, you can re-equip, you can switch around the mediums in battle. When you realize, oh, there are fights like this in the game. You realize, oh, this enemy is doing fire attacks more often. Let me quickly reskill in battle and get fire immunity, and then I'm good to go, man. And that's so amazing. There's so much depth in the fighting system and equipment system. Of course, like there is not really a best equipment for everyone, but there's definitely ways you should skill if you like want to get the most out of your characters. And in the end, there's a skill called Finest Arts that just does a ton of damage if you set it up right. And like in the end game, it's only like feeding that character items so it can pull off Finest Arts, and yeah, that's it basically. So in the end, it gets a bit stale. So, but you can challenge yourself and not use that skill. And characters, for example, Jet in the game becomes more or less useless. All he does, like in my setup, he has a skill that repeats another character's turn. So what I can do is, if I want to do like ice damage, I have Gallows, who is my mage, use an ice spell, and I use Jet to repeat his turn. So I can actually return twice with Gallows in that turn. Yeah, so if a character's only use is to repeat another character's turn, I don't know how great that is in my opinion. So anyway, like this is a fantastic game, Wild Arms 3, and I tell you, I beat this yesterday. And the ending, man, the final scene is probably one of my favorite things, like one of my favorite endings. It's not big, it's not epic, it's a nice little twist, and man, you have to experience this. Like, I'm like, this is the end, like this is amazing. This is always how I want a game like this to end, and it's just so great. You can do side missions in the game, and you get EX keys. With that, you create a file in the end of the game where you can unlock different things, like the opening and ending movie, but most importantly, New Game Plus you can unlock, where you keep your money and you keep your levels. And I really want to do that in the future, New Game Plusing the entire thing. And I want to do the side missions. There's like an alien side mission where you have to fight UFOs and aliens that have come down to Earth. And different things, like there's an enemy that says, oh, you have to defeat me 100 times. And you just randomly encounter him 100 times, and each time he gets a bit stronger. And that one will take a lot of time because he doesn't always appear, and yeah, that one will take a while. So this is something I want to do, but very high on my list is the Abyss, which has been a thing for Wild Arms in the last 2 games as well, as like an optional dungeon. Here it is a 100 floor randomly generated dungeon with the final hardest boss right at the top. So since I love randomly generated dungeon crawlers, I want to do this. And if you're a fan of dungeon crawlers, this is also a game for you. As you can see, the whole map, like you have to uncover it. Like you see these gray areas, I haven't been to that one yet. So once I walk over there, the map will fill in. So if you are a victim of like map filling syndrome, as I like to call it, often in like randomly generated games or dungeon crawlers, you have to unlock the map by walking everywhere. And if you say, oh, I need to walk that path, I know there's nothing there, but I have to go there. This is the game for you. Like, it will drive you crazy. It's great. It's amazing. I love it. Wild Arms 3. Man, what an experience. Like, you see, I'm just energetic. Like, when you play a game like this where you just say, oh, all the pieces come together, man, to form just the most amazing experience. Not the best. Like, there's so many flaws. As I said, sense of direction. Like, the game doesn't give you any direction. You have to explore the world yourself. And you don't always know if what you're doing is correct because you have so many side missions and you don't know they're side missions, so you're just working on them and doing them. And just for me, it is so much fun to do that. But every now and then I was lost. I didn't know where to go. There's a fantastic website, RPG Shrine, I think, that has a like complete walkthrough of all the side missions, all the like equipment recommendations, the main story. And I definitely had that open a few times to find a few items, find a few locations. But I think like this is a game that can shine in the new game plus, and replaying it again and doing all the side missions. As you know, like one of my favorite games of all time is Boktai, which is a very short, like 10-hour little action RPG. But it has so many side content, so many hidden items, so many hidden cutscenes that I just love replaying it. It has New Game Plus where you can just play again and again and again and again and unlock new things each time. And I just love that, like that gameplay loop of beating a game you already know again and again. And I think, because this is a short game, I don't want to replay a 50-hour RPG. But this, with a lot of idle time, with a lot of being lost, took me 35 hours. I think I could easily beat this in under 30. So this is a short RPG. This is a fun RPG with replay value up its butt. And I love it. Wild Arms 3, play it if you haven't already. Like, it's on PlayStation 4 as a download title and so on. It's not hard to get. And I will play some Demon's Souls now, and I will move on to Wild Arms 4. And then after a little break from Wild Arms 3, I plan on returning to the Abyss and try doing that one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching about my little... Is it a rant when it's super positive? About Wild Arms 3. Have a nice day.